All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Gas 101 interview. We have an exclusive here with the Big Ten's leading scorer from last season, Arella Guirantes. Arella, thank you for coming in on the show so we can get to talk to you and get to know you a little bit better.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. It's a pleasure. Honestly, I know you guys are busy prepping for the season, so I'm going to get right into it. A lot of people had you in as a potential lottery pick in the WNBA draft. I watched your tape. You're definitely WNBA ready, but obviously you had a little bit more planned for your tenure at Rutgers. So I just wanted to know what's the biggest factor in your decision to stay at Rutgers for your senior season?
I think the biggest factor was just patience. Just letting myself develop a little bit more, and getting a feel for everything else I can offer for next year for a team. Um, I think I was in a win-win situation, at that time, and in the current state, it was a little unsure. So I
Right.
prayed about it. Um, and the day of, you know, a verse stood out to me, and it told me to be patient. So I followed my heart.
Okay. Okay. You mind sharing the verse, or is that too much?
I have the verse. It's actually in an old interview, but it just pretty much told me not to be shaken by anything, you know, and um, not to be tempted by a lot, because you can be tempted by playing with vets, playing in WNBA, making money, and
Right.
that's a lot. And you might think like, yeah, that's for me, and I've always wanted to do that. That's been my dream since fifth grade. And
Right.
to sit out and not be able to go physically get it when it's already there in front of me, that's probably harder than actually playing. So to me, I took the harder route, and um, I'm forcing myself to do develop more, on and off the court. I felt like my purpose at Rutgers wasn't finished yet.
Right. Okay. So you obviously have big plans coming for this season. You still have more goals that you want to accomplish. So what has it been like, basically preparing for this season amid everything that's going on with COVID? How are the incoming freshmen implemented, and then what are your expectations for this season?
Well, my expectations are very, very high. They've always been high for myself. Um, I know a lot of people probably would be stunned if I say this, but I probably hit about two, three of my goals.
Okay.
I'm a very goal-driven person, and you would think I've hit plenty of my goals throughout my career. I've actually hit like one, two, and
Hmm.
so I'm gonna be working towards that. I want to be Big Ten Player of the Year, um, in the in the running for National Player of the Year, and I want a championship. And
Okay.
those are my three main goals. That's really it. I think with that's going on in the current environment, preparation has been kind of difficult, as a team. So I
Right.
think we've all been trying to individually prepare as much as we can. I'm in the gym every morning, getting up at 4, driving out to purchase, and you know, I'm working out. Um, as a team, I think we'll be starting our first practice soon,
Okay.
in the next week. So hopefully everybody gets a feel of it. I've been here for 4 years now, so I kind of know the ropes, and I'm excited to show the freshmen the ropes, because I think
Hmm.
that we have high expectation group with the freshmen. I have high expectations for them. So I know they have high expectations for themselves too. So they should be a lot of fun this year, a lot of help this year, and we'll see how everything goes, um, throughout the season.
Okay. All right. I like that answer. Coach Stringer has some really high praise for you. She was obviously very happy to have you back for your senior season, especially with the infusion of youth coming along. I actually watched a lot of Diamond Johnson in high school. She's
Yeah.
not too far from where I live. So she's a baller, made big time strides, and can't help but wonder, she's going to probably pick up a few good things from you. I think it's a good mentor relationship. I could see her maybe even potentially filling your shoes down the line. Well, we won't even talk about that right now. Them shoes are still uh, still putting in plenty of work on the hardwood right now. So let me ask you a little bit about, obviously you started your career at Texas Tech, and then you decided to come back more or less close to home, and you're playing for Rutgers. You've been outstanding at Rutgers, and you played under one of the most legendary coaches in the history of women's basketball. So I got to ask you about what's your biggest lesson or biggest things that you've learned playing under Coach Stringer?
Mm. I think my biggest lessons are just, being okay with being uncomfortable. And I've learned a lot of patience with Coach Stringer. I keep re-emphasizing that because I'm a very eager person, but I've learned to be impatiently patient. So just trusting that every day counts, and stop looking at the bigger picture so much and go in. I've learned to develop the habit of going into every day instead of looking at the long scale of things, going in every day and trying to perfect what I can that day. And you know what? Some days it's great days. Some days it's bad days. I've learned to deal with my bad days a lot better than normal because I was, stubborn freshman, having bad days. And I'm like, oh, no, this is not happening.
Right.
It shouldn't be like that. But, everyone goes through that. So she's just taught me a lot of growth. I say Rutgers alone has taught me a lot of growth. Just academically, athletically, everything. It's just been a real eye opener. And I look back at myself and I'm just like, I was like this 4 years ago. Nah, like
Yeah.
people that know me, they're like, okay, there's a little different vibe about you because I wasn't this social and outgoing networking person. I was really just about ball. That was it. And just making that huge jump. And I look at myself now, I'm just like, who are you? But it's fun. I love who I'm becoming, and I know that with Rutgers I'm gonna keep moving in that right direction.
Absolutely. I mean, we've all pretty much seen your growth right before our eyes. Like, obviously, on the basketball court, we've seen you improve every season. Last season, you averaged over 20 points a game. That's the highest point average at Rutgers since Cappie Poindexter. We all know her credentials in the WNBA, and I've also, I've seen your interviews. I've seen a lot of growth. I'd like to say I've seen a lot of growth, and I'm sure there's a lot of growth off the court as well. So we're excited for all the future has to bring for you, whether it's on the court, off the court, either way. So that kind of sets me up for my next question. So I know you did undergraduate in broadcast journalism. So I was just kind of curious about that. I can't help but kind of see a potential broadcast role for you in the future. Is that something that's in the plans? Do you see yourself doing that, or what do you have in mind with that?
Man, I think that's the coolest job in the world.
I agree.
Like, who doesn't want to wake up and just talk about sports, talk about things that's going on in the world, like you're having a normal conversation. I feel like it just kind of comes naturally to me because now, as you can see, I love to talk, and I love picking people's brains and just learning new things every day. So I really hope it does happen. I'm glad Rutgers was so hands-on in their program. So I got to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of editing and knowing how to write, all that stuff. And then I got to do what I like. I like to be in front of the camera. So I got to be real creative in that program. They taught me a lot. They taught me how to do podcasts, make blogs, all this stuff. And it doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like something I would actually do on my own for fun. So, man, that's the coolest job in the world. I hope it happens.
It'll happen for sure. I like everything you said, man. It speaks to me. It speaks to me because that's exactly how I feel too. So I can see we're cut from a similar cloth when it comes to that. And hey, however things play out for you, there's a warm seat here for you at Gas. If you ever want to be the first lady, the Candace Parker of Gas, we'll love to have you.
That'd be awesome.
All right. So we're obviously in the pandemic. We talked about hoops, but I mean, it's all been hard on all of us, figuring out how we're working through this pandemic, student life, regular life. So I'm just curious, how are you keeping sane, during the pandemic?
It's funny. Because the first couple weeks I was like going crazy. Like, I'm telling you, I was like in my room. I was all upset. I was still working out, but it was just like I felt like my days were very kind of like inconsistent, and just it wasn't good enough for me for my standards. And I remember having a conversation with my father, and actually I just started. I was like, you know what? I just got to get creative, and I just started training like older women, like getting them in shape, and I would work out with them every day while they're getting in shape, and training with my friends and all that stuff. And that's really how I just kind of had a little side hustle with everything, and it kept me busy. It was cool though, because I never pictured myself like training people or doing anything, giving back the way I did. But it was I had a blast this quarantine. Like it's gonna be one to remember.
Okay, all right. So it looks like you might have a little personal trainer side hustle going as well, keeping it in the
Nah.
family. All right, multi-talented, multifaceted. Okay, I like what I'm hearing for sure. So let me go ahead and ask you about this, kind of swinging things away from basketball a little bit. Well, actually, now we're gonna keep it in basketball. One more ball question, because I know it seems like you're like me. You watch a lot of tape, right? Am I
Yeah.
right about that?
Yeah.
So out of all the players that you've seen, WNBA, NBA, whatever, I know you work out with some legends as well. But who would you say that you've modeled your game after? Who do you watch a lot of tape of?
Ooh, that's hard because you know I I kind of take a little bit of everyone,
Right.
um, and I try to just perfect it. Um, but lately, I'm a Kobe die hard fan. I love Dirk. The Dirk is probably my favorite move.
Okay.
Um, and I don't care about them scouting that because they can't block it anyway. So the Dirk is my favorite move. But I've been watching Devin Booker lately,
Mm,
and he's just a bucket getter, and that's what I consider myself. I'm a creator, scorer. I like to set people up,
mhm.
and to me, the game is one on both sides. It's a very much defensive game, but you got to score to win the game. So that's what I do. Um, um, as you know, like and from class, I've been working out with my mood, and man, watching his highlights, I'm like, it's crazy. He's 51 and he probably still could play now. Like
Right.
quick, real, very just focused. And so I've been watching his highlights too. The way he comes off the screen, just quick release, and just how his muscle memory is just the same every time. So yeah, like I said, I pick a lot of people. I like the way Steph Curry has the same shot every time, but also can have different release points. So Clay, is very um diligent with the same shot, but Steph Curry, Ray Allen, they pull from different release points all the time, and I think I've modeled that since I was in like I started like eighth grade. We have a whole drill. Me and my dad, we call it the Ray Allens because he'll just throw it all over the place, and I have to pull from that certain spot, and I can't bring it down. So it's a bunch. It's a bunch of people. But I'm very much, I love watching the NBA. I'm a big CP3 fan, the real Candace Parker. CP3.
Me
Um,
too.
Huge Candace Parker fan since Tennessee. I remember her, and I've modeled my game after her, and I got a couple inches off. But I just like to be very versatile in my game and affect the game in multiple ways. So like, yeah, I love seeing the ball go through the hoop, but I'll get you 7 rebounds. I've learned to use my body the correct way, like KG, and be a real like dog on the court. So yeah, it's a bunch of people.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Sounds like you're very detail oriented, and you could tell you've been picking the tape apart. I'm excited to see it translate on the court this season and what type of things you have in store. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Last couple closing shots, if you will. Kind of take it outside of basketball a little bit. Just kind of get to know you as a person a little bit. So if I were to steal your iPod right now, and after practice, and what would I find on there? Top three songs, artists that you're currently listening to that you're bumping to right now.
Woo! All you gotta find is some Hove.
Hey,
Yes, I am a big Jay-Z fan. That's that. I probably have every single album. He's the only person I have every single album on my phone. Um, I love Beyonce, but she's probably not in my top three right now. But
okay.
yeah, my top three artists right now is it's always gonna be Hove. I love Rakim and Eric B. That album. So that never gets old. And I am. I know he's crazy, but I'm a Kanye fan.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with
I,
that.
I love that gospel album he put out. That's what gets me going in the morning actually. So that's on repeat every day. The gospel, it's kind of like a little New Orleans kind of bounce type gospel to it. But it's great. It's real well rounded. And as a Christian, I love Christian music.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I think a lot of people slept on that Kanye album. Honestly, I like to separate the two between what's going on. I know he be talking crazy, but hey, he make good music. And shoot, that was music to my. I can't believe you said Jay-Z. I think if I wasn't already a fan, I think I became even more of a fan because of that. Because Jay-Z, that's my favorite rapper. So I
Mine
definitely,
too.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling the Hove. I
All
like
right,
that a lot.
what's your favorite album?
Reasonable Doubt. It's not even close.
Woo! All right,
Reasonable
but
Doubt. Not even
I grew
close.
up on I grew up on Blueprint 3. So I'm a Blueprint 3 stan. I think it's very underrated. I know
Super.
that album word for word, back to front, anything. But Reasonable Doubt is my favorite lyrical album. So I'll give you that one.
I'd say number two for me would be American Gangster, which is also I think is extremely underrated as well.
I was just listening to that on the car ride back.
hmm You know the vibes. You know the vibes. I see
I
what how
do.
your music taste is. Okay, we right here. I feel it. All right. Last question. We're right down to the nitty gritty in the NBA. I know you're a big hoops fan. You've been keeping up with the NBA. You've been dropping some critiques on Twitter. I've been peeping them. But yo, we got basically we got down to the finals, the final four, if you will. We got the Celtics on one side. We got the Heat. Then we got the Lakers. We got the Nuggets. So Arella, this is your opportunity to look into your crystal ball and tell me who is your finals pick.
Ooh, I I would love to watch another Lakers Celtics finals matchup. I'm a sucker for that rivalry. So I would love to watch another Lakers Celtics matchup, but Denver's hooping, and so is Miami. So these guys are out to play this year. So I don't think anybody's gonna get past LeBron in the West, and I think the winner is gonna come out the West. But you know, I'm open for all. You know, I'm open for entertainment. I think Jamal
Absolutely.
Murray's been very, very entertaining this whole playoffs, and you know, sometimes you can't fight destiny. So I'm not gonna say nothing, but I told you who I would love to watch. But if it doesn't
Okay.
happen, I wouldn't be mad either.
Okay. I think we can all get behind the classic Lakers Celtics matchup. I think that would be love. I think the young boys over there in Boston, they're deep and they got guys like deep on their bench that I know are ballers. So
Mm-hmm.
I just know that it's next man up over there. They got a whole bunch of talent. But after the Clippers went down, I don't see anybody beating LeBron. So I'm right there
Yeah.
with you on that. Right there with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. All right, cool. So we definitely gonna look forward to that. We're gonna fact check you in about a couple weeks to see how that pick turned out. We're gonna see where you at. But besides that, Arella, thanks so much for coming on with me, taking some time out of your day. I know you got a hectic schedule. But for everyone out there that's keeping up, make sure you check her out this season. She's obviously Rutgers women's basketball, big things expected this season. You heard it here first. She's shooting for the national championship. So everybody out there that's, striving for the same thing, you better watch out. Arella been watching the tape. She ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, thanks
So
for having me.
definitely everybody out there, Arella Guirantes, beauty, brains, and pretty much a full triple threat out there. So thank you again for joining me.
No problem. Had fun.